Imagine you were born totally aware and conscious of everything around you. Conscious you're coming out of someone else's body, joined to it by a bloody cord. That you are completely covered in blood. Conscious of the dry air entering your lungs for the first time. The sharp sounds in your ears. The blinding light in your eyes. Conscious that your bones are unbearably soft and your life is so fragile it could disappear at any moment. That's what being resurrected is like. I can imagine Nurse Elizabeth Mansfer. I can feel her excitement the day she met Dr. Victor West, regenerative medicine's new genius.
Look at the light, please.
Good morning, Miss Mansfer. Welcome to Prodigy, where humanity's greatest dream is coming true. Are you aware that our team of top international scientists has developed the world's most advanced regeneration program? We're the only ones capable of regenerating up to 65% of the human organism. Prodigy Health Corporation, the only company in the world that can bring you immortality. Because immortality is only a question of time.
Elizabeth, I remind you that you are still bound by the confidentiality agreement. Nothing mentioned here today can leave the premises. Understood. Victor. This is Elizabeth Mansfer, the nurse. Elizabeth, Dr. West.
Nice to meet you. It's an honor, Dr. West. I've tell you books.
Try augmenting the levels of catecholamines gradually.
All right.
Excuse me. Oh, Elizabeth. Welcome.
Thank you.
Ready for a visit?
I'll call Dr. Howard.
Elizabeth and Victor. My new parents.
This is where we work. The entire wing of the building is dedicated to the project.
200,000 square feet of facilities for Lazarus alone.
And we barely even fit.
How long have you been working on it?
4 years. We're finally prepared to face reanimation. That's a scanned map of Lazarus with an accuracy almost to the cell. We use it to study the primary difficulties and to make decisions before the big surgery. Like what proportion of the body can be reanimated and what proportion must be substituted by bionic parts and organs developed in our laboratory.
That is the operating room where multiple surgeons will work under Victor's direction and assisted by 120 technicians on the outside. This is a model of a surgical robot we've designed for the operation. When's the surgery?
July 25th. That gives you 4 weeks to familiarize yourself with the clinical details and to prepare your strategy.
After surgery, Lazarus remains in an induced coma for nearly 2 months, giving him time to assimilate his new organs and implants. It also allows us to address possible reanimation defects. Now, one of your functions while he's in coma is to help him make that transition into his new life.
And after that, you'll be much more than just his nurse. You'll be his partner.
Of course.
Those are Lazarus's muscles.
I knew it could be done, but that doesn't make it less impressive.
Any questions, Elizabeth?
What's Lazarus's name?
Why does time pass so slowly when we're children?
What are you doing, Mark?
Why does the future seem like such a huge, endless eternity?
He's so tired. Okay, come on, you can do it.
That's a good boy.
Bless you.
Why do we never feel anything that intensely again? Only the pain.
I'm sorry to have to tell you this. Our worst-case prognosis has been confirmed. It's too late to operate. All that we can do right now is try to slow its spread with treatment. At this point, radiotherapy and coadjuvant chemotherapy is still the most effective option.
How long have I got?
Based on our experience with this type of tumor, you'll be able to live more or less comfortably for about a year. And after that, it's hard to say.
But, why? So soon? I mean, what's the reason? Why my throat?
There could be many reasons. Bad habits, smoking.
I don't smoke.
It's cancer. If you undergo treatment and we act quickly, we might be able to give you some more time.
I need to think about it.
Sure.
Where did you find it?
They hide in the rocks.
Let's cut off its tail.
No! Don't do that.
That's just wrong. No. Ew.
You big bunch of babies.
Mark.
Don't be scared. They grow back, you know.
This one's tail will never grow back.
What do you mean?
No.
What is wrong with you?
Time is coming back to me now. Slower than ever. You can't imagine all the things that need to be done to dismantle your life and prepare everything for when you're gone. Starting with the simplest. Telling your employees, suppliers, and customers that someone else will be taking your place from now on. But not to worry, that everything will continue exactly like it has until now. Giving instructions on how to finish the projects. Selling your shares. Leaving the business in good hands. Deciding what to do with your most personal projects. With your dreams. Telling the people you love. Deciding who not to tell. Managing all the concern you will awaken. Telling your mother. Explaining to her that she's going to outlive you. Writing your will. Selling your properties. Emptying the house of your personal belongings. Looking at them for the last time. When you get rid of everything you ever were, what's left? What you wanted to be. What was yet to come. The best was yet to come. The best was always yet to come. I got lost. I didn't know where I was.
I'm here. I'm here.
I got lost, Naomi.
I'm here.
I saw Steve today. He wants to get back together.
What did you say?
That I'm in love with you. That I've always been in love with you.
You should get back together with him.
I want to be with you through this. I want to spend the rest of your life with you.
Come on, Mark. Jump already.
Rebecca's looking this way. Waiting to see that swan dive.
Way to go, dude. Now he's gonna belly flop.
What do you guys think about cryonisation?
Like Walt Disney, right?
Walt Disney didn't have himself cryonised, but yes.
So what is it?
Basically, after you die, your body gets put into a capsule with liquid nitrogen, am I right? In hopes that someday medicine might be able to cure whatever disease you have, or just to live longer.
Wait, you're not thinking about freezing yourself, are you?
Let me show you something.
You want me to help you?
This article is 7 years old now. They extracted the heart matrix out of a dead rat and injected stem cells into him. few days later, the heart started beating. And this is just the beginning. I mean, since then, they've even managed to fabricate simple human organs. They've even transplanted some of them successfully. There's a revolution coming. At some point in the not-so-distant future, they'll be able to manufacture organs specifically created to suit each patient. I mean, imagine, I could just simply replace my pharynx with a new one. And that's that. I could keep on living.
Are you serious?
I am.
But for that to happen, first they'd have to bring you back to life, right?
That part doesn't seem so difficult to me. They've already reanimated insects and small animals trapped in ice for who knows how long. And babies conceived of frozen sperm and eggs are alive when they're born, right?
How do you know they'll keep their end of the deal? I mean, the people you signed the contract with won't be around to take responsibility.
Guess I'll have to trust humanity.
You know, sounds good to me. I mean, after all, we are talking about what they'll do with your body after you die, right?
Yeah, it might not be such a bad idea. Let's have a toast to cryonisation.
And to the future.
Sure, what the hell.
There.
Cheers.
Cheers. We love you, Mark.
You know, bet the future's gonna be full of hot chicks.
And super horny.
An improvement on the present.
And men will be sensitive.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, but we'll be old and wrinkled by then.
Not me. I'm gonna fuck all your grandchildren.
Calcium channels.
All clear.
Sodium's at 110.
We need to bring it down. Invert sodium-potassium pump.
Inversion initiated.
Temperature variation.
2 decimals.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Extracellular potassium rising.
Okay, time remaining in spine.
4 minutes.
Two, I need you out. Mitochondrial RNA levels.
90%.
Muscular insertions.
Completed.
Activate neuromuscular connections now.
Activating.
Arm 5 to enter pericardium.
Go ahead. Arm 3, I need you to change access with arm 5.
Copy. Initiating movement.
Sodium levels.
109.
Still too high.
Introducing hypertonic solution.
Temperature?
73 Fahrenheit.
Troponin under 001. Good job.
What are you looking at?
What do you think? Look, man, the truth is, I still don't trust it. All the websites I've seen look like they belong to a cult or something. There's no guarantee. Did you know that in 1979 they found the bodies of 9 people who had been cryogenized in a cemetery here in California? Thawed because the company was cutting costs.
You guys are all over me tonight.
Yeah, and people who cryonize themselves trust that the 40 or 50 grand they set aside will be enough to pay for reviving them and all the rest. You see, my dad's pension's almost gone since the last crisis.
Yeah, I know, and I agree. There were problems at first, but cryonization's gone mainstream since then. I mean, now it depends on how well prepared you are. For example, the money question. I'm gonna set aside a lot more. I'm gonna set all of my money aside.
Why do you think that anybody from the future would want to bring you back to life? Or anybody else, for that matter? The world is going to be totally overpopulated. You'll be like a man from the 19th century. I mean, what's the point of that unless they want to use you as guinea pigs for science?
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought it up.
No. Oh, it's okay. I wanted to talk to you two about it.
Okay. Then I have a question.
Shoot.
So, everywhere I look, they say the body needs to be cryogenized as soon as possible after you're declared legally dead.
So your cells don't deteriorate.
But no matter what they did, it would take several hours, even a day or more, to complete the process. The damage would be huge. Not to mention the harm caused by the disease and the treatment before you die.
Yeah. I'm not doing any more chemo. I already saw my father spend years of his life fighting his disease, dying little by little. I won't go through that. And as far as the time between death and cryonisation, well, I have a plan to make sure that they get to me quickly and start pumping blood right away.
But how will you do that? I mean, you would have to know the exact circumstances of your death.
Yeah. I'm gonna make sure they're waiting close by and that I'm in good physical shape when the time comes. I gotta die before the disease gets a hold of me. And I need your help. I need somebody close by when I do it.
Welcome back to life, Mark.
Ready for assistance. Give me value.
Heart rate 190. Blood pressure rising. Oxygen under the line.
Having urgent crisis. Mask, please. Add an intravenous beta blocker.
It's okay, Mark. We're here. I'm here.
Can you see yourself?
Don't worry, you look a lot better when your hair grows back.
Try to tell us how you feel. Can you feel your whole body?
It hurts.
What hurts?
Everything.
That's a good sign, Mark. I'm Dr. West. The pain will go away little by little. You have to go easy on the painkillers. Now, tell me if you feel this.
I don't know where it is.
You don't know where I'm touching you?
My arm. I don't know where it is.
Is it the same with your legs? Don't worry about that right now. We'll try to fix it. Tell me, Mark. Can you remember? Do you remember your life? Yeah. What about after that? The years up until now? Do you remember anything about the other side? Nothing?
Fear. Dying. Waking up.
Okay, Mark. You don't say anymore. We know this is incredibly hard for you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the future, it's time to introduce myself. I'll use the same words as Dr. West. My name is Mark Jarvis, and I'm the first man ever to be resurrected. To summarize, this is what I am. 20% remains of vital organs and tissue recovered from my old body, mainly the brain and the rest of the central nervous system. 65% cloned bones, muscle, skin, nerve endings, and other organ remains. 10% bionic implants to reinforce the musculoskeletal system and sensory organs. And 5% internal technology designed to regulate and monitor the correct functioning of the organism. On top of that, add a system of external connection, a detachable umbilical cord, a near constant means of connecting me to my new mechanical mother. Dr. West and his team have had to face innumerable problems since my reanimation.
It's time, Mark.
And their respective solutions have been insufferable. More surgery, organ removal, induced coma, external control of vital signs, the administering of drugs to prevent adverse reaction, more drugs to ease the effects of those drugs, and so on, and so on, and so on. All this resulting in a terribly fragile organism, permanently on the edge of collapse.
Ready for your first step?
The laboratory man. Frankenstein's monster.
Very good, Mark. Very good.
But there is another way to look at it.
Beautiful.
I was going to die. I was going to disappear. Forever.
Don't rush, you're doing amazing.
And I'm alive again.
Go ahead.
I'm alive. I'm alive.
That's it. That's it. You're doing great, Mark. Good. No rush. Small steps. You're doing great.
You're going to sleep well now, Mark. Get some rest. Get rest now.
Good night, Mark.
Okay, now let's try one finger at a time.
It's difficult.
Little by little.
What's it like? The world out there?
What would you like to know?
I don't know. Are there spaceships? People living on Mars?
You know, things haven't changed so much. If you went outside, you'd see a lot of buildings from your time still standing. And although we barely use oil now, cars still have wheels and airplanes still have wings.
Let's try with the other hand.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you feeling, Mark?
Good, thank you.
Actually, Mark, there is something you've never seen before. Technology's biggest revolution since computers. We call it MW, or Mind Writer.
If you connect it to your head, it can extract images and sounds. With concentration and practice, you can record your thoughts. Nowadays, MW is used for everything. This is where the information is recorded. Then later it is used to substantiate anything that has occurred, or to present reports and projects.
Or simply to share experiences and connect with people.
Or see what they're doing behind your back.
It's also used to create art. You were an artist, weren't you?
Yes.
Apart from anything else, it would help us to get to know you better. And not only us, very soon many people want to know firsthand how you feel. We want you to have something ready when we present you to society, to the media, And to our investors.
The media.
A lot of people have paid good money for your resurrection. It's important that the world meets you, Mark.
Of course.
Would you like to give it a try? I'll put it on you for a few seconds. Are you okay? I admit the first time can be a little intense. You have to concentrate on the images and sounds to make them come into focus, like in the movies you used to watch.
I'm gonna leave you. Try not to overstimulate our patient. He's had enough excitement for one day, okay? I'm going back to my office. In my spaceship.
Want to try it again? Put it on yourself.
No. Ready? Ready?
What are you doing? Yeah!
Right now.
Come on.
Fine.
Why?
Mark!
Yeah, suck on that.
You trust me?
Oops.
Am I all the things I'm seeing and feeling? If I manage to record my memories, will they still belong to me? That's the first thing I thought when I put on MindWriter. I just hope I get the hang of it before you see this recording.
In sign language.
Oh, what?
You're very pretty.
Thanks. But nothing special. Nowadays, we have it easier than you did. We can choose our children's features and microsurgery does the rest. No wonder people were so ugly a century ago.
Thanks. What about your teeth?
What about my teeth?
Is it intentional?
Of course it is. Why, you don't like them?
I don't know. I like them. How old are you?
46.
46? Oh. You got a boyfriend?
I think our notion of couples is not as defined as it was back in your time.
What do you mean?
Well, let's just say that romantic love has come under a lot more scrutiny. You were truly slaves to it back then. We don't suffer as much over love anymore. Does that hurt?
So what do you do in your spare time?
You're talkative today. Well, since I started working here, not very much. I'm a big fan of MindWriter, almost an addict. I watch series, I have dinner with my parents, I meet with my sex group.
Sex group?
I'm lucky it's very complete, and I've got good friends there.
Oh. It's the world I always dreamed of.
I like you. If you want, we can have sex sometime. Later on, of course. When your body feels strong enough.
Later on. Of course. Life. What can we expect from it? A body. A working body. That tightens and relaxes naturally. That moves. A heart that vibrates, elastic and strong. Ready to feel.
Hey, Mark. Here comes Rebecca.
Hi, Mark. Want to go to a school dance with me?
Hey, what about us?
Yeah, don't forget to invite us to the wedding. Na, 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 na.
Here's another flower for you, Mark.
Life. What do we expect from it? Certainly not this fragility. This half-speed existence. We definitely don't expect a medical history full of afflictions and minor defects. A propensity for thrombosis, numbness in the extremities, involuntary movements, loss of equilibrium, scaling of the skin, irritation of conjunctive tissue, respiratory insufficiency, cardiac insufficiency, incontinence, impotence. You don't expect so many limitations so soon. You never expect this invincible fatigue, which eventually becomes like a fog, covering everything.
Mark, stay with me, stay with me.
Threatening to turn off any light,
Everything's going to be fine.
any sound.
Let me get this straight. If this is your exhibition, does that make you the exhibitionist or what? Because I once got in trouble for that. I want to see some naked people and I want some champagne, okay? That's what everyone wants to see.
And if deterioration, fatigue, and despair do arrive, you at least expect to keep your memories.
Hey guys, there it is! You see it? Oh, there it is.
Mark Jarvis.
Working butterfly. Come on, Mark, get him thick.
MDRT. Jarvis.
What if your memories were erased as well? What will become of me now that my memories are fading?
The neural circuits are functioning even better than we anticipated. But there is something happening in certain cells in this area here. Now, we don't know why yet, but they're deteriorating. It's what caused the apoplexy, and it's what's causing the memory loss.
It's very difficult to correct the problem, Mark. We don't expect greater consequences, but as far as your memory is concerned, I'm afraid there's nothing we can do.
I don't mean to trivialize this, but nowadays, memory loss is not considered a serious problem. MindWriter allows us to recover memories with 100% accuracy. In fact, millions of people all over the world lead completely normal lives without actually remembering anything.
Could I speak to you for a moment alone?
Sure. Tell me, Mark. What can I do for you?
Nothing. I just wanted to have a little chat. I haven't thanked you for everything you've done for me.
You've nothing to thank me for.
Family?
My kids and, my ex-partner.
I'd like to know what you think of my progress as a patient. I wonder what will happen from now on. If I'll ever move by myself. If the complications will go away. If I'll ever be normal.
I'm afraid you'll never be completely autonomous, Mark. That machine keeps you alive. It takes care of you. But you will be able to disconnect yourself from it for greater periods of time. You'll never move with the speed and accuracy of a teenager. And I can't promise you that new complications won't arise. But with luck, they won't be any more serious than those experienced by patients with chronic diseases or by the elderly.
The elderly.
Mark, I understand your fear, but I have to ask you to be strong and not to let it get the better of you. And don't you forget, we're all here to support you, that you're not alone. Don't you realize the importance of our achievement? It's a giant step in the history of medicine. You're that giant step, Mark. You'd better prepare yourself. You're going to be the most famous person on the planet.
I don't know if any of you, maybe some of the oldest, have ever seen any films about Jesus Christ. I remember being struck once by Lazarus' attitude in the first moments after he was revived by the Messiah. He looked deeply confused, like he knew he was morally corrupt, as if he hated Jesus for bringing him back to life.
We'll be able to go for walks outside soon. Okay? Short ones. So your new lungs can start adapting to the air of our time.
Oh.
Congratulations.
He's a jolly good fellow. He's a jolly good fellow. He's a jolly good fellow. Which nobody can deny.
100 days old. Congratulations, Mark.
Can I eat sugar now?
Don't get your hopes up. It's a special cake.
Thank you all.
Sit down, Mark. Do you remember it?
What in the world is this?
My work and photographs. Photographs of my life.
We'll have them scanned so you can see them on your screen.
Let me tell you the story of two lovers who were never in sync. The lovers without a time. They meet in college. They're the coolest, the best looking, a walking pile of hormones. The machinery is set in motion. The course of their lives will never be the same again. But the timing isn't right for her because she has a boyfriend that she doesn't want or perhaps doesn't know how to break up with. Yet still, behind her boyfriend's back, she fools around with him over the course of several years. Until she realizes she's in love with him. And only him. But now the timing isn't right for him. He got tired of waiting for her and has overcome his teenage shyness. He's in his prime, meeting tons of girls and getting laid. All the time. She suffers for several years as they continue seeing each other as friends and occasional lovers. Meanwhile, he grows tired of his wild ways and realizes that what he really wants is to be with her, and her alone. But once again, the timing isn't right, because she's tired of being emotionally dependent on people and has discovered her freedom and the pleasures of being promiscuous. She feels young again, meeting tons of guys and getting laid all the time. He suffers for several years as they continue seeing each other as friends and occasional lovers. And now it might be sheer habit, but they're seeing each other more and more. And his hair starts falling out and her biological clock kicks into action. Only for now, still, their luck is out. Because he's just been diagnosed with cancer and is going to die. She confesses her love and tells him she'll break it off with her current fling and take a leave of absence from her job. Because she wants this last year of his life, this last year together, to finally be their moment as lovers. But now isn't the right time either, because he's decided to have his body cryogenized. and needs to commit suicide before the disease destroys his body.
Dear Mark, I've written this letter 1,000 times. I've tried to fill you in on what happened throughout the years to the people you loved, but it seems unfair to summarize your lives in a few lines.
Do you want me to read it for you?
Anyway, I'm not writing to tell you about them, but because death is at my doorstep. The news has come when I'm 50, and although I've conceded to enjoy what little time I have left, I'm having myself cryonized too. Why? I miss you. That's the simplest explanation I can give. I never loved anyone like I loved you. I'd like to see you again, and hold your hand.
And if they can bring us back to life, surely they can make me look young and beautiful again.
I'll only be a little bit wiser. Fingers crossed to see you soon, Naomi. Never.
We'll see about that.
Never!
Hey! Hey! Naomi!
Never! What? What? What are you? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Not in the water! Stop it! Stop it!
A large part of the success of your reanimation was due to the fact that you interrupted your life while still in very good physical shape.
That's why you were selected.
Here they are. You spent a while here too, you know.
What will happen to them?
Well, it's hard to say. Apart from the medical risks involved in each individual case, the time and resources required for reanimation are still quite high.
Consider that we'd have to create organs and specific technology for each one of them, like we did with you. And an enormous team of humans would have to be mobilized.
Then most of these people will never be reanimated.
Reviving cryonized people is so expensive at the moment that someone would have to have a special interest in them. I'd be willing to pay for it.
This is it.
This is what you wanted to see. Here's Naomi. We put her back in the capsule after we performed the cell scan. I'm afraid her organism is in worse condition than yours was, Mark.
Her disease had caused considerable damage when she died, and they took too long to properly cryonize her.
So?
It's too risky. We could be exposing her to some very serious after effects.
The previous experiences
I promise you we will study the case carefully. But I don't want you to get your hopes up, Mark.
Would things have turned out any differently if I had lived longer? Could my relationship with Naomi have been any different? What was it? Where did it come from? The need to constantly be seeking some unknown source of fulfillment. hunger for experiences in life that always made me want to be everywhere except where I actually was. Life seemed like it was always just around the corner, or in some brief moment past that only remained in memory. Never here, never now. It was a promise always perceived intuitively, in a scent, in a glance, in the vague feelings caused by nostalgia, in a touch of a body that reminds us of the person we love. Why then, not simply in the touch of the person we love?
What are you gonna do in the 22nd century? Open a funky little advertising boutique? Suppose they actually bring you back to life. What are you going to do years and years from now? Getting old, all alone. You'll die heartbroken. I said I would give you this time. Is that worth nothing to you? You have no right. Your life does not belong to you alone. Who the fuck is gonna care about you in the future? More than the people that care about you and love you right now. Who's ever gonna care about you more than me?
There'll be other people to love. Other people will care about me.
Oh, you fucker! You fucker! No, no, you... God, you fucking asshole! No!
You're wrong. Finding harmony in life is too difficult. It's too fragile. You think you'll be able to find it in another place, another time?
Are you really sure about this?
Those all for me?
Mark, what are you doing here? Are you okay?
There's so many, it'd be easy to make a mistake.
Others, maybe, not me. Come sit down.
Elizabeth, do you know anything about the experiences previous to my reanimation?
Experiences?
I was wondering how many rehearsals they need. How many doubts they have to resolve before they reanimate someone. Must be a very long process.
You mean other people before you?
Exactly.
I don't know. I hadn't thought about it. You know, everybody here signed a confidentiality agreement. Is this about Naomi? Someday they'll overcome all of these difficulties, and you'll be able to be together again, just like before. It's only a matter of time.
I gotta finish my walk.
Wait, I'll go with you.
No, really. There's no need.
Will you really be okay?
Yeah. Thank you, Elizabeth.
His anxiety isn't going away. He seems more detached, and some of his behavior is similar to the first weeks.
How accurate would you say these memories are?
80%. I recorded them almost immediately.
Well, clearly we've been unable to halt the depersonalization process.
Do you think neural damage might be spreading?
Oh, no. He was only just recently informed of Naomi, so it's normal for him to feel confused. Let's not get ahead of ourselves and mistake this for something that it's not.
I don't know. I'm afraid there's something we're incapable of seeing. His mind is always way ahead of... I'm just afraid of what he might think.
Do you have a suggestion to make?
I say we get him out of here. Let him see the world and forget himself for a little while.
It's still too soon, Elizabeth. His organism is still very fragile. You know his lungs are still not ready.
Besides, things on the outside are still too hot because of the rumors about our experiments. More protests have been announced. It's too risky to let Mark out before we've presented the project to the media.
I'll up the dosages of antiepileptic drugs and tranquilizers. What do you think?
We might have to reduce the disconnections and be on the lookout for possible respiratory depression.
What about being straight with him? It might help him. You know, let's explain to him that his neurons aren't dying and his memories aren't being erased for no reason, that we do know the cause. Let's explain to him that he's boycotting himself.
Elizabeth, even if Mark were able to understand, he wouldn't be prepared to take control. And the process might even accelerate if he were tempted to throw in the towel and give up altogether. That's not the real issue here. Mark's decision is what matters. He isn't here by chance. He chose to stop living so he could have another life.
He certainly feels very guilty about Naomi.
No wonder. He sacrificed a remarkable woman for an inadequate dream.
Mark is an adult who made his own decisions and has to live with the consequences. He'll get over it in due time.
Elizabeth, there's no need for you to tackle it all by yourself. You mustn't. It's important you don't transmit this uneasiness to Mark. If you need a rest, please tell us. I need you happy.
The bosses give me permission. We can have sex now. But softly. So, this pill is so you can maintain erection, and this is a desire stimulant, one for each of us. Everybody uses them. I always take them. They increase desire quickly and without side effects.
Sorry. Sorry.
It's okay.
Before I died, I thought there was nothing after death. Now I'm sure. Why do we yearn so desperately for life after death? What is it that we want?
Okay, I'm coming.
Perhaps reward for our grief. Or punishment for our sins. No. What we really expect to find is what we already know. What we once had and lost. If there was something, we would turn it into more of the same. The same chaos and the same beauty. The same reward for the same effort. The same tale by the same idiot. If there was something, it would probably be purgatory. Allow me to show you what it might look like.
We're here.
What happened?
Easy, easy. Whoa, easy. 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 That's it, lie down. Take a rest.
No,
Relax.
no, my God.
Relax. Introduce mixture. 250.
He's not responding. He doesn't respond to others.
What's going on? He was fine a minute ago.
Pull him.
All right, give me an IM. Give me an IM.
Out of control.
Lazarus, calm down. It's all right.
Put him back to bed.
All right, get him back up here. Come on. Let's plug him back in. Easy, Lazarus, easy.
He still doesn't respond. I can't get him to respond.
Take it easy. Everything will be all right. Is there something you want, Lazarus?
We're here with you.
Shut him down, Capitano!
No, oh my God, no!
Oh my God, Lazarus! What have you done? What have you done?
Very good. Keep going. You can do it. Concentrate. It's your right foot. Go ahead. You can do it. Here
Okay, follow my finger. All right, blink once if you can hear me. Please follow my finger.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, tonight will most certainly go down in history. And all of you with it. Because we have done it. The journey has been replete with prejudice, legal barriers, doubts, and sacrifice. But we overcame. We have made possible the dream.
Long held by humanity in his struggle against disease and time. And we couldn't have done it without you, our investors, stockholders, allies, collaborators. Scratch that. Without you, we couldn't even have begun to dream. That is why tonight is a night for all of us.
How are you? The radio should have taken effect by now.
Forward position Prodigy as the leader in our field.
And you will be compensated for your generosity and boldness. but most importantly because of what our advancements mean for humanity. Because we will prevail.
It's time, please.
That is why I want you to be the first to see him. Speak to touch, feel. Believe me, he is worthy of admiration. Without his courage, determination, and patience in the face of many setbacks,
the miracle would not have been possible. Music. Lazarus, come forth. Ladies and gentlemen, after nearly a century deceased, Mark Jarvis, first human being ever resurrected.
Hello? I'm very happy to be alive.
Please forgive me. He appears to be frozen again.
You'd better take a seat, Mark, because what I'm about to say will knock your socks off.
You see, in his past life, Mark had a great love. A love cut short by illness and death. Her name was Naomi. And Naomi, having missed Mark for the rest of her life, decided that she too would have herself cryonized. Of course, here at Prodigy, we couldn't let their story go unfinished. So we're gonna do it. Naomi Keller will be the second human being ever resurrected. Don't worry, we won't be asking you to take out your wallets. You'll gladly hand them to us. Because the future of medicine is in our hands. Because immortality is only a question of time. Mark.
Why did you leave without saying anything? We wanted to share your big night with you.
You know, I wonder who's really the monster. Me for what I am, or you for what you've done?
Who said anything about monsters, Mark?
I did.
I suppose you've seen the recordings. I could have closed the file cabinet so that I wouldn't notice. Listen. Not a single day goes by, not a single moment that I don't remember those people. I recite their names to myself every morning. At first, I was so tortured by each failed reanimation that it made me want to quit the project. I prepared my resignation over and over again. But at the same time, each failed attempt brought us closer to our goal. Every time, it made more and more sense to try again. Did you think reanimating you would be the result of some miracle?
The suffering of those people became a living hell for me. I couldn't sleep anymore. I lost my family when they found out about it. But that was the risk I had to take to get as far as we have. To bring you back to life, Mark. Do you still not see how important it is? I can't stop you from talking about what you saw in those recordings. I won't. But Prodigy's standing is very fragile at the moment. And if you talk about it, Project Lazarus will go bankrupt. That's the bottom line, Mark. The failed reanimations are my responsibility, and I have to live with that. But you have another responsibility as the key to the project. You get to decide whether or not humanity will ever have a chance to benefit from it.
Were they part of humanity? Maybe not to you people. Maybe they were out-of-date humanity or second-rate humanity. You know, I don't believe you. I don't believe you ever really cared about their pain. Do you care? Do you really care about my pain?
Of course I do. I have done everything I can to treat you and ease your pain. I can't give you a better life than the one I already have. And you know what? Maybe that's the part you can't take. The life I gave you isn't the one you were expecting. You wanted paradise for a few $1,000s, and I only gave you the life you already have, with all its defects and all its limitations.
I might have a body that's loaded with defects, but I noticed I'm pretty strong.
I know. I created your muscles.
You know, I see you people from the outside, and I don't care about you. And I don't care if you live or die. It'd be very easy to cross the line and take revenge.
But you haven't got the guts. I crossed the line, and Project Lazarus is all I have left. If you cross it, you'll be left with nothing. Drink this. It'll make you feel better. I'm sorry, Mark. I'm sorry that I am the least capable of all people to relieve you of your loneliness.
How could I love anyone else if I was again? How can we try?
Dude, she's so young for you. Hey, Jeffrey. What? Yo!
Can a man be alive only in his mind? Live only based on memories? God, I've missed you. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm great. Everybody came. I'm happy. Everything's going like I wanted. You are the only thing missing.
I'm here. I'm here.
Hey, you know, I've been thinking a lot about us. And I think despite everything, ours was one hell of a love story. It is one hell of a love story. Let's join the party.
Wait, Mark. I'll do it. I'm gonna be with you when it happens.
Thank you,
Don't steal my mask. Don't you steal any of mine.
Could I live in the past, going over and over it with Mindwriter, filling it in, polishing it, making things up, until it reaches perfection?
I love you.
I don't know. There's only one thing I can see clearly now. Life is nothing more than a state of matter, like a gas or a liquid. A form of molecular organization. And there's nothing transcendent or divine about it. Its only objective is to perpetuate itself through motion, change, adaptation. Life isn't worried about any species, much less any individual. We're nothing more than the chunks of mud it uses as a vehicle. Life is what's scary, not death. That it's always on the verge of extinction. That it exists wherever it shouldn't. And the soul, you may ask. What about the soul? Well, maybe the soul is the bit that gets lost when you freeze the meat and then thaw it out again. Elizabeth.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Fine. I'm fine.
We'll have to get you back to the room and connect you. It's been a long night.
Were you okay?
Sure. The Naomi announcement is big news. Her being here will make you feel better, you'll see. Less alone.
What about you? Won't you feel alone? Didn't you feel more alone tonight?
I'll have both of you. I can wait to meet Naomi. I'm sure we'll get along great.
There's been enough guinea pigs already, don't you think?
Mark, they're not going to reanimate her if they're not sure about it.
Don't even want to imagine Naomi feeling like she's trapped in someone else's body, someone else's life.
That's your fear talking right now.
Fear again, huh? You know, there's something I haven't told you about my past life. I never talked to you about the day I died. Naomi was with me. We picked the day and everything was ready. We'd say goodbye to each other. And at the last moment, right before I was about to drink the poison that would stop my heart from beating, I realized that the last few months had somehow been the best of my life. Squeezing every drop out of each moment in a way that I never had before. The happiness and the pain, everything was connected. And I had second thoughts at that moment. I thought about putting it off, living life to the fullest, as long as my disease would let me. But no. Because the happiness I felt was only possible because I decided to kill myself. Suicide was my way of fighting the arbitrariness of cancer, the only way to avoid the agony and the uncertainty of when death would finally arrive. Accronization, it gave me hope. It gave me a faith I didn't have to die peacefully. You know, the truth is, I never really thought I would be reanimated. But doing what I did, it gave me a program to follow. It restored a certain order to things. It gave me back control over my life. Finally, I had accepted the idea of dying. I realized that was what mattered. That things were fine as they were. So I drank the poison. The fear is gone. And right now, too, things are fine as they are. You know, living again was worth it, because I met you. And that's been the best part.
For me too, Mark.
Then will you help me?
Of course I will.
All I need is the name of the product and the necessary dosage.
My job is to assist you in life, not to help you end it.
You're the only one I can turn to, Elizabeth.
Why? Why should I help you?
Because you've seen everything I have. Because you understand what I feel better than you'd like. Because I need for all of this to mean something. Because I'm all alone. Because you love me.
The
plan is simple. In the next few days, I'll follow the advice of my doctors and record my remaining memories. But for you, not me. I'll relive my memories for the last time. I'll wait until the weekend.
First the cryonic slab and went to 911.
And then, cardiac.
Cardiac massage.
Gently. Don't wake me up again.
We got it.
Where are you on the books?
Bit of history for you. And then this out here is the best part.
My... What?
Fuck
whoa,
you!
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Dude! Dude!
And you know it. Then...
Whoa.
I dare you guys to jump today.
No.
Your mom is so fat, when she sat on a rainbow, turned into Skittles. You run them out of it, so only piss on your mom.
Jump out!
Poor Dr. West. Lazarus wants to return to obscurity. He was right. Just like I wasn't ready to die, I wasn't ready to live like this either. Like most people from my time, I can't accept anything less than the young, free, and sensual world of the advertising Olympus I had grown accustomed to. The frozen shop window existence. A heaven for skeptics. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen of the future, I hope this will help to clarify my final wish. To be nothing again. To disappear. To finally rest in peace. Although I have a suspicion. It's possible that you might never see this recording. It's possible that Prodigy Health Corporation, after investing so much into Project Lazarus, after putting so much time into me, might not permit this failure.
We found you just in time and managed to recover your organism. You are one very lucky young man.
Please, forgive us. How insolent of us. We should have been more understanding. But trust me, we won't let you feel discouraged again. You'll recover your will to live.
Okay.
R-rated